Do you remember how we discussed the scientists of Syracuse's invention of calculus prior to Newton and Leibniz? History repeats itself, especially if you take into consideration alternate universes. "Well, I got it!" shouted this time he to the king while jumping out stark naked from the bath tube. Exposure implies revelation. He handed to the monarch with a big smile a heavy and glinting electrum crown. Then he went back to the circles that he had chalked on the dusty floor, mumbling about burning the Roman fleet with mirrors. At least, though assassinated, it would not be in the bathtub, as Agamemnon Atreides, Jean-Paul Marat and Ishikawa Goemon were. Because a bath is a very symbolic endeavor, like, say, lifting Earth with a lever, which our scientists also promise to do. Do you take baths, reader? Are you so symbolically pinching toward? But you don't want to end in the shower as that girl in the movie Psycho, right? Do you recall our discussion about the scientists from Syracuse, who, long before Newton and Leibniz, toyed with the very concepts that would become calculus? History, it seems, has a way of echoing itself, especially when alternate universes come into play. "I've got it!" he shouted, leaping out of the bathtub, water cascading from his limbs as if the very knowledge he sought had become tangible. Stark naked and unburdened, he presented the king with a heavy, glinting crown of electrum, a smile dancing on his lips as if to say, "Here lies revelation." Exposure, after all, implies revelation. But the scientist's mind was already elsewhere, drawn back to the dusty floor where he had chalked his circles. There, in the midst of his diagrams, he muttered about burning the Roman fleet with mirrors, eyes alight with the fires of distant calculations. His thoughts drifted, as they often did, to mortality. Perhaps he would meet his end, like others who had soaked in the symbolic waters of fate, Agamemnon Atreides, Jean-Paul Marat, Ishikawa Goemon. But not here, not in the bath. No, for him, death would come at a different time, in a different place, as if even fate bowed to his calculations. The bath, however, was more than a setting, it was a crucible, where ideas boiled over and truths were laid bare. Much like his promise to lift the earth with a lever, a task both Herculean and absurd, the bath was where he could strip down not just his body but his mind, freeing it from the constraints of the ordinary. Do you take baths, reader? Do you understand their symbolism, their potential to reveal and to destroy? Or perhaps, like the girl in that movie, you'd rather avoid the water, lest it reveal too much, lest it become a prelude to something darker. Remember when we spoke of Syracuse's sage, who birthed the calculus, well before the age of Newton and Leibniz, in histories entwined? Time loops and cycles, as alternate paths we find. "Oh, I've it!" cried he, in unclad glory bold, leaping from the tub, a tale waiting to unfold. To the king, a crown of shining electrum he bore, with a grin that promised secrets, yet more in store. Back to chalky circles on the dusty floor he fled, murmuring of mirrors that would burn Rome's dread. Those slain, like others, in tales of cruel fate, not in the tub, what a dishonor for a great. Symbolic the bath, a ritual profound, like lifting the earth, with leverage unbound. Dear reader, do you cleanse in this sacred embrace? Beware, lest you end in a shower's cold chase. For who wants to meet a fate like that scene, in Psycho's sharp memory, an ending so keen? Engage with the symbols, let wisdom be sought, in the depths of the bath, profound lessons are taught.